All right, hey guys, Mike Caudill with Chasing Horsepower back here on the NEXEN live stage. Man, it has been a wild couple of days, some incredible interviews. Just had a chance to talk to Amr Ahmed with Jeep, man. This guy's responsible for running global efforts for Jeep to build out this brand. He's standing over there. I still can't believe you said what you said. That
Right?
was
I
some
know.
classic stuff.
I know.
I know that's what he said, something like that.
There's
That
a
was,
story
I
there
know,
somewhere.
there's a story, David, hidden somewhere in there. All right, guys, super pumped to have David Borla up here with us.
And I'm super pumped to be here
Man,
for the
I have
record.
known you for a long time. And,
Yeah.
there's people in this industry that I worked closely with all throughout my career, and then there's those that we kind of run vertically, and we connect every now and then.
That's
We've
right.
been on that side, just working together on some projects over the years, and now we're back here at SEMA. I know the last few years have been little bit rough for you and your mom.
Yeah, yeah, they have.
The founder of the company, we work closely with Lucas Oil, and they kind of had the same situation just happened before us. Lucas, I'm sorry to hear that. I was
Thank you.
encouraged by
Thank you.
reading your post about you and your mom and a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That made me happy.
Thank you, yeah.
All right, I think easily you guys are probably recognized as one of the most. You're at the top of the food chain when it comes to performance exhaust. You work with automakers on every level. You work in the aftermarket on every level. What is it that just makes Borla so different and special than other aftermarket exhaust companies or OEM exhaust companies out there?
I think we have our own flavor and our own way of doing things. And one of the great challenges we have is kind of maintaining this historical significance that we have in the automotive aftermarket and remaining kind of leading edge and forward thinking. And so that's kind of at the core of our values.
Yeah.
Is to kind of bridge that gap between that sort of 50s hot rod thing and the future.
When your dad first strapped an exhaust system on a car, what was it?
Rolls-Royce. You mean the first product?
The
actual
first product.
Rolls-Royce. So the first...
Dude, a Rolls-Royce?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to make an exhaust, and I'm going to put it on a car. Ford F-150, best-selling truck of all time. Ford Mustang, totally iconic. Camaro, Corvette. No. Going to do a Rolls-Royce.
Yeah. So my dad immigrated to this country as a refugee, and he started wrenching on cars and air-cooled Volkswagens.
Yeah.
And at the time, Volkswagen and Porsche dealerships were one. And so he worked his way up from Volkswagens up to the Porsche stuff, and eventually became a part owner in a dealership, and then kind of came to the realization that he really leaned more towards the parts business and was selling parts for exotic cars. And the demand for Rolls-Royce parts, and this was in New York back in the late 70s, and the undercarriage of a Rolls-Royce was primarily mild steel. And so after the winter with all the salt on the roads and whatnot, it was very common to have to kind of change out a lot of the undercar parts in the spring. And he had a bunch of customers waiting for exhaust systems, and his supplier disappeared. And he just decided, he was going to make his own. He was one of those, like a real one of those guys.
I think what's interesting to me is the sound. Like, in order to get good sound out of a vehicle, it's got to be the right mix of right engine, and it's got to be the right mix of an exhaust. How do you tune exhaust specifically to a vehicle?
Couple things. Well, first of all, you bring up a really important point, which is that exhaust systems don't make sound. Exhaust systems shape the sound of the motor, right? So a motor has its sort of what you might call like a root note.
Yeah.
And what our job is to do is to make that motor kind of live its best life. So we're always looking to find the right character for whatever the motor is. A 4-cylinder is going to sound different than a 6. An inline 6 is going to sound different from a V6,
Right.
V8s, and all the different variations.
Right.
So we kind of start by trying to figure out what the root note is. And then the hardest part of it is really tuning out the objectionable frequencies. That's where we find ourselves spending the most amount of time, because an exhaust system, in my opinion, a well-balanced exhaust system, needs to sound good under all driving conditions through the whole RPM range, going up hills, at idle, limping it through a parking lot, obviously wide open throttle. Believe it or not, wide open throttle is kind of the easiest. What's hard to do is to make it sound great everywhere in the RPM range. It's a lot, and interestingly, it's a lot like dyno figures too, which is also something that's very important in our business, is making sure that we maintain power or hopefully make some power through the whole RPM range, right? Quoting a single horsepower gain at wide open throttle doesn't necessarily tell the whole story, right? You could be losing horsepower at the lower RPM ranges. So what we strive to do is make it sound great everywhere under all driving conditions. But the thing about it is sound is subjective. So what we found is that there are actually sort of different tendencies that the end users have. You know, some of them like it really loud and raspy. Some people want something with a little bit more warmth to it. Others want more of a sleeper type, you know, sound. And so the spirit of the automotive aftermarket is to offer all this personality.
How are you guys working with automakers now? Because technology has changed so much. So here's a great example. I got a 2023 Ford Raptor, and I have adjustable exhaust notes now, right? So when I hit the R mode, I can open that thing up and it sounds amazing. I turn it off and it goes back to I can actually take it all the way to silent. How are you guys working within the auto industry with that kind of tech?
So, you know, we have two different kind of columns that fall into that category. One is we'll work directly with Ford, and we are doing that. We have an exhaust
I know you guys
system
are on it. You're actually branded on some of the cars, aren't you?
Yeah.
It comes out the tailpipe, right on the tailpipe says Borla.
Yeah, or it'll say Ford Performance by Borla or something like that.
Is that on Mustang?
There are some Mustangs with that, some
Yeah.
F-150s with that.
Okay.
And, quite a few Ford vehicles.
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
Obviously the Shelby vehicles also, and the RTR vehicles. You know,
they're all running Borla.
Yeah, all of those are running Borla.
Awesome.
But we do something different for all of them.
Sure.
So when we're working with Ford, we're working with the Ford engineers, and we're helping them. You know, we're serving them. We're helping them realize their vision.
Yeah.
Shelby has their own ideas on how they want to do it.
Yeah.
Vaughn at RTR, he's very, very particular about what he's looking for from the sound of his vehicles, and we're fortunate enough to, after 50 years, to have enough sort of tricks in our toolbox that we can do all of those things for them. And then there's the traditional Borla, you know, Borla branded aftermarket stuff.
Right.
And that's where we kind of have a blank palette to do whatever we see fit. But when it comes to that functionality that you're talking about, one thing's for sure, you put an aftermarket exhaust on to improve or have a sort of highlighted experience, right? So we don't want to take that functionality away. That functionality is cool as hell, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Right? But what it does for us is it gives us different notes to play with.
Right.
So we maintain all that functionality, all those different modes. Baja mode.
Yeah,
I think
Baja mode. Yeah, it's
right?
great.
That's the one everybody talks about. So we have all those different modes, and when you select them, you will hear distinguishable different notes, but they're all different from stock. So that's the flavor of the aftermarket, is to just give something different. Sound is subjective. I'd never be so arrogant as to say that it's better, because what one person likes may not be what somebody else likes, but it sure is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting about exhaust as well, right? And I was just talking to the Jeep team about this a minute ago, is that every automaker has gone from a V8, and they've now got, you know, whether it's Toyota or a Nissan and a 3.4, or Toyota and a 3.5, Ford Motor Company, right? The Raptor is a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. When we think about these motors, you have to get great sound out of smaller displacement now, right? And you got a turbo mixed in there. And you can say no. I'm asking just as a journalist because I'm curious. Are you on the Raptor?
Yes.
So
no, we're not the original. We're not a tier one supplier.
So you buy an aftermarket version for the Raptor.
Yeah, or the Ford Performance version is going to be made by us.
So I'm curious if mine is a Borla exhaust just named as Ford Performance.
Could be.
Because I can tell you the Baja mode sounds, and I mean, I'm a purist, right? You and I, we go back. We've been at this. We've been coming to this thing, man, 25, 30 years. Yeah. I was a V8 guy, and as you heard me a minute ago, I was debating Sean Holman. I'm like, dude, I like a 3.5 liter. Like, give me the twin turbo. I like it. And originally, I was like, man, this sounds stupid. But not anymore, man. That sound sounds amazing. All right, so what is your best-selling exhaust?
It varies from year to year.
Mustang.
But a lot of it is dependent on production numbers of the vehicles. So they sell more pickup trucks in this country than anything else. So most of our top sellers are going to follow sort of like the production numbers.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pickup trucks are, you know, there's a lot of sales with pickup trucks, Mustang, obviously a good one.
Yeah.
Charger and Challenger,
Thank
love
goodness
those
the Hemi
cars.
is back.
Yeah.
Thank it. I bet you guys were high-fiving at
Yeah,
the shop. The
yeah.
Hemi's back. Let's go.
Yeah. Corvette is
Yeah.
a great one for
Yeah.
us. We do a lot of sport compact cars, WRX and Subaru BRZ, Toyota GR86.
Yeah.
The SUVs are great, Dodge Durango. I mean, we got, we offer a lot of different part numbers and a lot of variety.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I read something at one point where you guys were working on like some special project unrelated to the auto industry. I feel like it was military or something. I feel like you guys do a lot of this aftermarket stuff outside of our industry, right?
we do, and it's interesting because it ultimately comes from the automotive aftermarket. A lot of military guys are car guys. It's just something about it. I mean, a big
Yeah,
part of
let's go fast and do crazy things.
a big part of our customer base is just military guys. But then what happens is it's happened 3 times now where an engineer from a large defense contractor gets in his car to go to work and starts it up, and it's got a Borla exhaust on it, and he's like having some sort of a challenge sourcing something related to what we do. And he winds up calling us, and he's like, I know this is crazy, but like I got my car this morning and I turned it on and I thought of you guys, and like we have this vehicle and we need help with this and something you guys might entertain. And then we always jump on it for a lot of reasons, one of which is just our patriotism to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it winds up being a really great relationship with them, and we get to deliver something to them that fits a very particular need, usually in a short period of time. Maybe like titanium mufflers for an unmanned aircraft, or something really cool that I can't really tell you more about than that. But then what happens is it forces us to push the envelope, and we develop new technologies that ultimately make their way into our everyday products.
Yeah, that's
a lot of the new stuff we've come out with is a result of our work in defense and aerospace.
You know what I love about the industry that you're in is that it doesn't matter. There's a new car coming out every single year.
Yeah.
And as long as that's an ICE vehicle, it's going to fit the bill for Borla.
Yes, but I will tell you, we also have a really cool sound solution for EVs too.
Like the one on the Charger?
No, it's a lot different.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a speaker coming out of the rear of the vehicle.
It's more of an aftermarket spirit. There are speakers, but it's more of an aftermarket spirit, and it's really based in an app where you have choices from hundreds of different sounds, including like spaceship sounds, and it's all tied into throttle position and wheel speed, so it brings back that sort of visceral connection.
You could have helped them.
Yeah, maybe we could have.
You could have helped.
We still can if you guys are out there. We can still help you.
I test drove it, and I was behind the wheel of that thing for 7 days. And the first 4 to 5 days, I would turn off the sound. And then I found like every time I was getting in the Starbucks line, I was like, I'm going to turn this sound up on this thing. And it sounded like a spaceship. It almost sounded like Kit from Knight Rider. Like, it was kind of cool, and I dug it.
Look, sound matters.
It does.
And I think that what we're finding, because we're on like year 3 of having this product, is that it's really something that the next generation of car guys are embracing.
Yeah.
Like my dad's generation has no interest in, tuning the sound of their vehicle with their phone.
Yeah.
But my kids think it's cool as hell.
And I do too. I would do it. I love the fact that I get to push a button in my Raptor. Boom, I hit the R button. I have it completely customized to what I want. And if I want to just get on the throttle, it sounds amazing.
But in this case, you have choices of hundreds of sounds, including artificial spaceship sounds. But what's even cooler from just sort of like an aftermarket customization standpoint is that we have filters and effects where you can sort of dial in the sound how you would like and make it your own. And everybody can have their own sound.
For ICE vehicles?
For electric vehicles.
For electric vehicles.
We're starting to think about doing it for ICE vehicles too.
Man, how cool would that be to be able to change the sound of your V8? I mean, that's kind of wild from a smartphone. I'm down with that. I think that sounds pretty awesome.
So the Borla app is going to bridge the gap between all of that stuff, and it's very new for us, being a metalworking company for 50 years, to start developing, computers and software and app development. It's all been very new for us, but it's been a lot of fun, and we're all about making cars and trucks sound cool.
Yeah,
That's
no
what
doubt.
we do.
All right, so is that what's next for the brand, or are there other things? What did you guys debut here? Anything new?
So yeah, I mean, like you said, there's always a new application. We have our Ranger Raptor stuff
Let's
on
go. Ranger
display
Raptor, such a
right
great
now.
truck.
Yeah, we the Toyota Tacoma. We've got our C8 Z06 system on display. We have our EV stuff on display. We have a smaller division called Borla Induction where we do multi-stack fuel injection conversion kits.
Let's
So
go.
we've got
Hey, don't
that
underestimate
stuff.
that, man. That's some
Yeah,
real deal stuff right there. You
yeah.
want to talk about increasing your performance? That's an opportunity to do it right there.
But we have, Matt Field's C8 drift car in our booth that has our complete header back system on it. We've got a Shelby Super Snake R that every one of those comes with a Borla exhaust on it. We've got Dave Kindig's C1 Corvette. We've got an RTR Bronco that just won at Crandon in our booth. We do a lot with off-road.
Do you guys do the exhaust for the Hammer vehicles that
some of them?
Vaughn, the RTR team takes out there?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was wild. I went in all of them this year.
You did.
And they
Okay.
say, yeah, they sounded absolutely amazing. Wait, I think you're also on Christopher Pulvardi's Baja 1000
Yes,
truck.
exactly.
I remember that. I covered that for
Yep.
Fox out there.
We are. Yep.
130 miles per hour out in the
Yeah.
open desert.
Yeah.
You better ask that dude to take you out there.
I
I'll
will.
tell you what,
I
man,
will.
that thing just floats
I
over
will.
the sand. It was so much fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging all that.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember that because we were talking about the sound and the pipes come up out of the rear. And I remember I asked him, I'm like, wait, who did this for you? And he walked me around the side. There was the Borla name coming right out the side. The stack comes out of the top of the back of the bed.
Well, it's interesting because through our work with the military, durability has become extremely, critical.
Oh,
The
yeah,
way
yeah,
they
yeah,
beat the
yeah.
hell out of those vehicles in the theater is like insane.
Yeah.
So the trophy trucks are probably about as close as you're going to get
Yeah,
from a durability
so awesome.
perspective. And to build an exhaust system that can handle all that heat and all that power and then all the bouncing around and the way they beat those things up, it's a challenge,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fun.
David, thank you for spending time with us up here today, man. It's been a long time since we've been able to catch up. And, man, I love what you guys do. You're at the top of the food chain. You're now the
Thank you.
president of the company, doing what you do. And I think the world of what you guys do over at Borla. True an American Patriot company. I mean, we both got it. Other sleeve. One sleeve, right sleeve, your left sleeve. Is made in America.
That's
right there.
Yeah,
It's pretty
100% made in the USA at our factory in Tennessee. We do all of our design work at our Skunk Works facility in California, and we just love it.
Are you? Just segue question. Are you indirectly a Tennessee Vols fan? University of Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean because we're in Tennessee, of course. Yeah.
Everybody hates Alabama out here. I love it. Let's go Vols in the house. Auburn. A lot of SEC folks out here. Where'd you go to school?
I graduated from NYU.
Oh yeah, NYU. They even have a football team at NYU?
Not a D1,
No.
not a D1 team.
No,
Not a lot of football fields in Manhattan.
No,
so,
there are no.
yeah.
Central Park would be your only
Yeah.
football field. Be like, let's just line up some chalk out there and let's go. Let's go. Right on,
But
man.
I
Thank
am
you
a
so
football
much.
fan.
Are you?
For sure. Oh, yeah,
Who is?
big time.
I mean, I'll have fun with you for a second. Who's your team? This is gonna be good.
Now I wish I hadn't said anything. So born and raised in Queens, so I'm a Jets fan. But it's not my
Yeah.
fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I know. In basketball, are you a basketball fan?
Knicks.
Can I ask you a question? LeBron or Jordan?
Oh, Jordan all the way. And I tell you why.
Anybody else? Jordan or LeBron?
I tell you why.
We got Jordan fan? Jordan?
I tell you why. There's
Jordan? Look at that guy. He's gonna do some push-ups back there. Eric Barnlin in the house. Hey, do you run Borla on your rig? Yes. If you don't, you
if
better.
not, I'm coming over there after we're
If you
done.
don't, you better talk to David Borla, man. He's gonna be all fired up. Not yet. You know those guys at Max Slider?
No, but I'm about to meet
You
him.
need
so-
to know them, man. They make. So I had on your competition, and we were talking about Broncos because I'm a Bronco guy. That's how him and I met. We're gonna tell that story when you come up. It's a great story. But Broncos, man, that's where my heart's at, with the Raptor as well. So maybe I need to look at a Borla exhaust from.
I mean, we got one for the Bronco Raptor.
I know.
Just,
Well, that would
so
be even
it
better.
Just kind of happens to all fit together.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this. So great to
yeah.
reconnect with you. This is amazing. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
man.
and-
I'm going to be back up in 1 minute. 1 minute. This is a fastest, like a round table this morning. I got my buddy Eric Barnlin coming up with Max Slider Bros. This is going to be a good one. You guys want to stick around and enjoy that. All right, back in a minute.